Alright guys, welcome back to Valorant News. The grand finalists are confirmed in Masters Shanghai, and both North American teams that are remaining in the top four have been absolutely slammed out of the tournament in 2 respective days by none other than Team Heretics. Lots of reaction to this one, certainly from players like Zellsis saying, wow, maybe NA needs me back in business, and even some of the Heretics guys saying Sentinels might still be the best team in that region after these performances that have absolutely stunk out the main stage over the last couple of days. Very much interested in your thoughts in the comment section below. Hit the like button if you enjoy. Subscribe if you're new as always, I'd greatly appreciate it. Couple of map teasers here for this new map Abyss, which of course we're going to see tomorrow during the grand final pre-match, which is effectively going to be the the show match basically for the tournament. Let's talk about console Valorant. This is coming rather soon indeed to PlayStation 5 and Xbox Series X or S or whatever. There will not be crossplay across PC and console. I think this has been rumored now for some time, but yeah, a Valorant console edition is quite the news of yesterday. And well, here is some console gameplay. It's going to be interesting for sure, in the same way maybe that I think Counter-Strike initially could be played on this stuff way back in the day, and well, it's still Valorant, but it's on console, so it's going to work rather differently. I'm sure it's going to be pretty damn fun, to be fair. Now, there was some drama about this, because Nadeshot says, I was invited by Riot to play Valorant on console earlier this week. I was able to record all day on PS5, and they had OBS running remotely too, but I was told that all of my footage was corrupted. Huge bummer. Asked me questions about the game and I'll try and answer, so he replies to that one. On God, I was slamming. Nobody's gonna believe me though. 1v5 Sheriff 8 in our first real game. That would have been a nice TikTok clip. I'm not trying to sound ungrateful because they invited me to play, but I truly don't know how 6 hours of footage from 2 separate recording softwares could all be corrupted. It's actually mind-blowing. So, you know, it can't even be the game at that point because you're using separate recording softwares on PS5 and on OBS. So how is that even really possible? It makes me think that, you know, somebody messed up somewhere, because it seems very unlikely that you've got like 12 hours of footage all corrupted. Seems more likely that somebody may have, you know, forgotten to press record, or like some sort of accidental deletion, or I don't really know. But definitely interesting to say the least. However, this clip was actually recovered because Noisy Butt has actually managed to get it for him. So here we go. 1v5 Sheriff Ace here for Nadeshot. Gets 1, gets 2. And yeah, it's interesting, isn't it, how this works? Because when you're running around, but then when you effectively hold left trigger, it kind of locks in your aim to be more accurate. And I think the game can work pretty well on console. Here's Nadeshot, so he already gets 1, gets 2, gets 3. Finds himself in a 1 versus 2 situation to close out the 1 versus 5 ace. He's got to try and defuse the spike. Obviously, he hops it, gets the first one, and then just straight up hops the defuse. And it works out in his favor here after the Sova comes through the smoke. He gets the final frag, cleans up a 1 versus 5 ace defuse. So it looks entertaining to say the least. Tens as well later in the day then said, hang on a second, I can one-up you, Nadeshot. Here's my clip, because of course Nadeshot was, you know, former Call of Duty player on console, on controller, right? On console when he was competing. Nowadays it's on PC, but still on controller. Here's Tens with 1, 2, 3, gets the 4th as well, and then decides to use the ISO ultimate to close out the ace. So yeah, this is console Valorant in its finest possible form, and he picks up the final kill as well. So very interesting stuff. We'll see how that goes over the coming weeks, I suppose, when the beta and all this stuff is confirmed and out there. But we've got to talk about some of the drama at Masters Shanghai, right? This is kind of crazy, and actually, this doesn't completely hold up to analysis, I don't believe. But whatever, it's cool to think about. Interesting stat against Boostio, about Boostio, that he's 0-9 against British players. So, Gen.G Fishy, Boaster, Artist, Def, etc., they are, you know, he never beaten those guys. Now, there is this series from, I think this is last year, playoffs up around 1, when he did defeat Artist. So, but Artist technically goes under the Latvian flag. He's also Scouse, which is, you know, Scouse, not English, all this. So, I don't know, maybe there's something in that. But, yeah, just wanted to mention that that stat, while interesting, doesn't maybe fully hold up to all the scrutiny. But, of course, the series, nonetheless, did go against 100T emphatically. So, there was also this from Bill Pan here over at the, you know, Riot product strategy side. Now, they're looking to turn up the crowd microphones, and I feel like it was a bit better today. So, cool to see them taking feedback on board at least. But that series was ugly, right? This is the Nadeshot clip that's been going around over the last couple of days, because this guy was going through it, and they got slapped out of the tournament. Now, to be fair, the game 2 was a slammage. The game 1, they really will feel like they should have won. Boostio and the 100 Thieves boys. There was some insane individual moments here, though, from Heretics, and genuinely, these guys are so talented that they've turned up to this tournament, Heretics, with basically no practice with this version of the 5-man team, and they have slammed everyone within region on their way to the grand finals. Like, their run, in some part, you might not say it's so impressive, but if you look at their run, wow, what they've achieved is mega. So, anyway, 100T got 0-2. It was a good opportunity, this tournament, for 100 Thieves, right? Like, I think going in, there was a feeling that given they'd won in the Americas, they were arguably the favourites to win the event, certainly from that region. But in the end, when push came to shove, they didn't quite have what it takes, which shouldn't be a massive surprise. But definitely they will feel, in hindsight, this tournament was slightly more open for the taking than, you know, they've managed to deliver, right? No Sentinels here. Fnatic went out early doors. Loud aren't the team they were before, right? Like, the real heavy hitters internationally, Paper Rex obviously knocked out early by 100T themselves. So, you know, like, those heavy hitters theoretically out of the tournament, but the reality is that the big heavy hitting teams in theory may not actually be the best teams in reality, and I think that's what we're very much seeing at the moment. As Zik says, 0-2 to Team Heretics, tournament ends here at top 4, lots of work to do. Some maps we felt unbeatable, other maps that, you know, anything can happen basically didn't feel as good. They should have won the bind, really. Obviously, the Sunset they then got slapped around on, and this is what Zellsis said after that series, and certainly I'm sure we're going on to say the same thing after what we have seen this morning on the future of himself and the team. I was thinking the same thing, as in NA needs you. Proud of them, though. They've done well. At this point, G2 is still in the tournament, but Zellsis is basically saying, yeah, you know, NA needs me, NA needs us back in business because 100T don't have what it takes. So they go out of the tournament in top 4. A commendable run, but they will be bitterly disappointed with that assessment. And actually, Miniboo, after this series where Heretics just slammed him, said the following: content creator from now on. And he's still got this in his bio, actually, here. It says content creator for him, because obviously he was potentially going to be here. He decides not to attend the tournament. They put Patty Tech in, and, well, the rest so far is history. So a clean 2-0 for Heretics. The game one was close. It was a crazy 13-15 overtime, but it generally felt to me that Heretics were the better team, and the fact that 100T, you know, allowed them to bring it back to the overtime with those 3 rounds straight, and then with the overtime, that was a bit of a dagger. The Sunset, though, was completely embarrassing. Boostio finally got a kill on the board there in the final map. They won this round. They nearly lost this round as well. They nearly got I think it was Woot, maybe, he nearly had a crazy 1 versus 3 on 100T here, but eventually they did trade it out. They then went on to lose every round anyway. So they got completely crushed this map. And this morning, Heretics continued to absolutely bowl over North American teams. Game 1 was G2 to 13. They, like, I can't even really share too many highlights here, because, like, even the highlights that I could share, they weren't really that impactful just because they were winning every round anyway. It's not like there was a big 1 versus 1 that somebody won that was the critical, you know, factor. Even this nice little 3-piece here from Woot. I mean, also this guy, Miniboo, has got to be thinking, damn, like, this guy has come in, he's taken my role, and he's absolutely cooking on it. I mean, here he comes with the nice little 3-piece there with the Bulldog, but it's not like it mattered. Like, they were just winning every single round in every single way. And Boo is obviously sitting there as the leader thinking, well, you know, my job is easy. My job is literally Woot go kill, Rian's go kill, and then maybe occasionally, you know, Patty go kill. I mean, like, how good is this guy? It's actually a joke. And Miniboo, while I'm sure he's happy about the circumstances, must be thinking, wow, what have I got myself into here? So a very, I mean, this was literally nuclear bomb versus coughing baby. Like, I can't even describe a better way to say it. And I didn't think the G2 would win this. Like, I wouldn't say they've been overrated precisely, but I feel like they've placed better than they are as a team. Maybe that feels unfair, but Heretics are just the better team by a country mile, and this was a disgusting ASIF from Patty Tech that was enough to get them over the line effectively. This is what I wanted to mention, because this is a tweet from Christmas Eve 2022 from Ardis saying, wow, this Woot guy is the next best thing to come out of Turkey. I promise you, this guy is going to be on Na'Vi, Fnatic, or Liquid in a year. Now, that didn't happen, but you know, what he's saying is this guy's unbelievable, and absolutely we have seen that to be true. So let me just hit the refresh on this, because bang, that's a clean 3-0. And I mean, Lotus was a bit more competitive. G2 won a couple of rounds towards the ends, but this wasn't even close. 13-2, 13-6, 13-8. Like, I mean, they won 13 rounds over the entirety of 3 maps. So congratulations to G2 for that one. It's Woot, it's Rian's, and look, Boo and Benji Fishy didn't even have to do that much, because Patty Tech had a monster takeover series as well. So the talent on this team is so strong for Heretics that they can, I mean, Mini Boo, I'm sure, is still part of their future plans. Whatever happens tomorrow in the grand finals. Maybe Patty Tech gets benched again, maybe Mini Boo comes back in. Maybe they can genuinely make a 6-man iteration work, like where they genuinely would chop and change depending on the series, because it seems like they've got the chemistry to do it, they've got the talent to do it. I mean, wow, to say this team is where they are is just such a great story, and as a result, the discussion has been, wow, that both those North American teams that were representing the Americas all the way to the final couple of days got embarrassed by Heretics. 100T got slammed out, G2 got slammed out in one of the most dominant 3-0s that I think I've ever seen, and as Rian says, only good NA team is Sentinels. So, you know, very interesting to hear his perspective on that, and saying, like, if Sen were here, maybe we would have more of a fight on our hands. Obviously, 100T talking to G2 about it, you know, welcome to the Pigpen having got bopped out of the tournament, and as Tarek said on June the 3rd, 2 teams from NA in the top 4, best region confirmed, but of course both of those 2 teams didn't go all that far in the tournament. So tomorrow we have the grand finals, Gen.G versus Heretics, and I said yesterday, can any team beat this Gen.G lineup? And I wasn't sure that was the case at the time, but I was thinking in the back of my head, if there's any team I could see doing it, it's probably Heretics. And over the last couple of days, they've proven that to be absolutely the case. Gen.G, however, do have the big advantage of the map pool. They get to decide what maps are played in the series. Their chemistry, Gen.G, their teamwork, like, is, I still think, maybe on a slightly another level to what any other team has shown. But in terms of, like, raw, unfiltered talent, Heretics may well, you know, take the cake on that one. But Texture, he might be a difference maker. Woot might be a difference maker. I'm hoping for a very competitive series. I'll probably take Gen.G in 5 if I had to predict the result of yesterday's or tomorrow's tournament. But I guess time will only tell. So very much interested in your thoughts on all this stuff in the comments below. Hit the like button if you enjoyed. Subscribe if you're new. Take care. And I'll see you next time.